Yeah, let me get 2 quick picks in the...
Darnell, that's you? Boy, look at you, boy, looking like 1968.
Yeah, peep game. Happy 2026, y'all. Happy New Year, you feel me? May 2026 be a year of new blessings beyond comprehension. In Jesus' name. Amen. And one of those blessings is a new drop. And in honor of JJK coming out with season 3 in a couple days, today I'm covering one of my favorite fights in JJK season 2, Choso versus YUJI. So let's go. So we start off with YUJI bouncing off every single imaginable surface on the screen, cause he on his way to go free Gojo. Cause if you remember, Gato and the Disaster Curses backdoor Gojo, and that just can't stand. Jujutsu Society really ain't nothing without the big homie Gojo. He really the Michael Jordan of this sorcery shit. Yes, MJ's a GOAT. Argue with your mama, not me. Speaking of GOATs, YUJI shows off his 2013 LeBron James level vert, jumping down this escalator, and before he can even touch down, Choso is down there, doing nothing, being mad unproductive. But the second they make eye contact, not even for a full second, Choso ups that convergence red dot to boom YUJI. And this gotta be the most textbook definition of on-site. Up there with Sabretooth and Wolverine, The Thing and Hulk. And it makes sense, cause YUJI slimed out both of his younger brothers. Also, to this day, I can never understand what type of genetic variants allowed Kenjaku to birth all 3 of these different looking ass niggas. Same mom, different dad face ass. YUJI puts up both arms to block. Unfortunately, he did not get that scouting report. You can see it in his face, cause not only does it rip through his arm, it rips through the entire subway station, as well as some of the signs above it. Even though common sense ain't too common, it's common enough for YUJI to have it, cause he knows he does not need to be getting hit with that move no more. So he cha-cha slides to the right so he can run down Choso, which was only made possible with Choso's stormtrooper aim. YUJI puts the end to the beam, but that left arm, out of commission. Choso starts aura farming to make more blood constructs, but YUJI is simply not going for that, tackling him and knocking that shit out of his hands. They roll around for a little bit when YUJI misses this point blank headshot, which leads to him getting monkey flipped. Choso drops blood daggers on YUJI with 0% accuracy, then douses YUJI with a blood wave. Me personally, this has got to be the most unsanitary thing I have ever seen. I know that shit got into his shoes, under his fingernails, and all those little places you don't want sand and shit in.
That shit stank, don't it? Ugh.
He brings all the blood back so he can hit YUJI with, is that a throat punch? Oh no, he hate this nigga. He hate this nigga for real. Do you know how mad you gotta be to hit a nigga with an instinctual throat punch? He sweeps YUJI like a stay-at-home mama and tries to separate YUJI's head from his shoulders. That stormtrooper aim comes back into play cause he misses again, but makes up for it by hitting YUJI with this tiger palm straight to the chest, making YUJI feel only 10% of what it feels like to get cheated on. Now that he's successfully social distanced from YUJI, he sticks to what he knows and ups that convergence red dot once again, and now they standing off, and YUJI gotta be trolling. Cause for some reason he decides the best course of action is to show off his 40-inch standing vert, jump in the air to aura farm in front of Choso, a nigga who has a blick aimed at his dome right now. Now me personally, if I was Choso, I wouldn't let this nigga show off his fit in front of me. I would've sniped this nigga out the air. But that's just me though. YUJI shows off his Olympic level flexibility, turtling up and dropping low to dodge the beam, using this opportunity to W key Choso. And unlike you niggas when y'all text y'all crush and get left on red 7 times in a row, just be talking to yourselves. Choso learns from his mistakes, remotely detonating these blood truth seeking orbs. You know that shit hurt because they had to replay it twice. And don't think he forgot the aura farming YUJI was doing earlier, because he says,
I think we ain't doing it.
And stabs YUJI in his toes. But YUJI got that dog in him, you feel me? Cause with the dagger still in his foot, he lifts Choso up and decks this nigga in the face twice.
That's what legendary players do.
That bum ass nigga Megami could never. Unfortunately for my dog, the next we see of him is YUJI getting ragdolled across the floor. YUJI stands up and
Brother,
go ahead and log off for me, twin. We cut the Choso looking like a real demon in the cut, you feel me? But YUJI gets a call from Big Mechamaru, never the little one. And he informs YUJI that he has a plan. And what do you think this plan consists of? Treating Choso like Ace and rage baiting that nigga. And I can't lie, that shit was super effective. Caused a mental critical hit, but this nigga folded under minimal mental pressure. They rage bait Choso into coming into the restroom, freaky ass niggas, by talking about his family. And Choso a real stepper, so he just couldn't let that slide. Choso walks in the restroom, and Nai immediately gets snuck by YUJI, but he's on his P's and Q's, so the attack don't land. Bro is getting ready to get back for his brothers when his truth seeker orbs explode. Now, respectfully, I can't tell you exactly how this works. This is higher than my prerogative. But what I can tell you is that for some reason, you know, science and shit, the water that's spraying from the ceiling in the sinks is not allowing Choso to hold the shape of his blood constructs. Anything more than that, hey man, you just gonna have to watch the show or read a book. But for Choso, that ain't stopping nothing. Squabble up, young nigga. Yuji begins to fade by punching this grate that easily gets deflected, setting up this jumping double kick, but he leaves himself unprotected for this sternum shot that staggers him. They get the exchange of blows and Choso misses, breaking one of the mirrors. But a miss for Choso is just an opportunity to swing again. So he reverses his swing and clips Yuji, pushing him up against the toilet. Yuji, I better not ever see you wear that fit ever again, seeing as it touched the same toilet niggas shit on. He flips off the toilet to dodge a blow from Choso, and on some Spider-Man timing jumps off the ceiling trying to command grab Choso, but instead gets reversed and grabbed himself and chucked on the floor. He channels his inner Simone Biles and hits mad unnecessary backflips trying to create space like a Luka step back. They get to putting up this hand-to-hand masterclass when Choso grabs Yuji, but this fit damn near cost his granddad life, so he bites Choso's hand and headbutts him. Choso tries to retaliate, but Yuji in all his athleticism somehow jumps over and behind him, hitting this nigga with a cursed energy head kick. And this was all it took for Choso to decide to go right back to shooting niggas, using his wavy ass clothes to hide his blood bullet, which breaks Yuji's liver. Bro gonna be pissing blood for the foreseeable future. But I'ma tell you once again, Yuji was born a dog. Busted liver, left right hitter, DoorDash didn't deliver. It don't matter. Yuji in 5, nigga, cause he walks it off. And Choso is feeling the aura. On top of that, all it took was one good hit and Choso is losing teeth. Choso decides to put a blood coat over his body, cause he putting that shooting shit to rest. Right? Okay. They pose face to face, waiting for the other to throw one first, and Choso breaks the stalemate. He jabs at Yuji, but he responds with that Michael Jackson backflipping into a kick. Choso tries to sweep Yuji off the landing, the same way the 2017 Warriors would do this year's Thunder. But Yuji hops back, dodging this attack twice. They clash fists, but remember, Yuji's technique creates a double impact, so Choso falls back. Blood Boy gets to shooting shit again, and this time it's the tooth Yuji knocked out earlier, which creates an opening for Choso to clock this nigga in the face. Yuji is over this shit at this point, so he starts just doing anything, chucking this grade at Choso again and treating him like a Goomba, jumping off him. Choso hawks him down, but Yuji jumps over him, trying to hit this fadeaway back kick, but he gets tripped and almost stomped out, but reverses it, clinging to the wall to try to kick Choso. This nigga Yuji gotta have Acrobat on Hall of Fame. Yuji gets blocked, grabbed, and slammed into a toilet again, and almost gets his brain splattered all over this public restroom by a blood dagger. But thankfully, the dagger explodes like a grenade, getting blood all in both their eyes, manufacturing a distraction for Yuji to flip up and kick Choso through every stall in the restroom. Yuji hops through the broken stalls when they clash fists again, but this not like them other times. Choso amped his punch up with some blood projectiles, clipping Yuji in the eye and shoulder, then pulls out this X-23 move trying to send Yuji on an early trip to dance battle David in heaven. Yuji gets kicked in. Damn, how hard was that shit that it had you upside down for real? But my GOAT shows why he's like that. Taking the recovery off the adjacent wall, you can't even do that shit in Tekken for real. And ooh, yeah, the second my opponent starts taking chunks out of me the same way Hulk did Iron Man, call the fight right there, man. I made a horrendous mistake. I was unfamiliar with your game. Yuji gets bitch slapped, but grabs the left, sacrificing his own body to throw Choso. Now peep this move Yuji does. Run behind the broken stall to swing around to hit a double drop kick. I could have swore Yuji was the one who killed Choso's brothers.
And I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Choso bounces off the wall, and off the rebound, Yuji hit him with a Hurricane Rana like Rey Mysterio. Yuji runs in for a punch, but it's really a feint, blocking Choso's vision so he can mollywop him with his left hand that he ain't been using the whole fight. Unfortunately for my GOAT, when he hits Choso in the liver, it does absolutely 0 damage, cause the blood armor extends to this nigga oblique muscles. And no, I'm not gonna be gaslit by the show into thinking that this nigga, this fucking physique, is a physique of a nigga with 0 combat experience. Fuck out of here. But yeah, my GOAT gets hold, getting his shoulder cut out like a piece of Thanksgiving turkey. And I will forever call this plot armor. I don't care if it is or ain't, it fits my narrative, so that's what it will be. Argue with your mama, nigga.
Thank y'all for taking on this ride with me. Yeah. You know what? Here go 2 more for y'all. Yeah.